Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in and welcome. Today's video is going to be very refreshing. And not to say that it's not jam packed full of critical information, because it is. It's just refreshing information, especially with so much speculation, skepticism, fear, uncertainty, doubt, controversy, chaos. Sometimes it's good to just get a glimmer of hope, right? And that could be the difference between grounding us and getting us back to the basics and taking us out of left field. It's very easy to get distracted in the markets when there's this much stuff happening. That's when impulse buying, panic selling, irrational decision making comes in. So sometimes we gotta just slow things down, take a step back, and remember why we're investing. So a couple articles I found from people saying $30 an ounce in 2021. A couple different articles. The first one we're going to start with is Kitco, but we also have one from Stockhead.com talking about how silver is going to bash through $30 an ounce barrier in 2021, and that's from experts. So the first question that comes to mind when I see these articles is, what is their reasoning behind it, but also what's going to happen if that does happen, right? I mean, we already saw it almost happen in August. That was overbought territory, so we knew the price was not going to stay there for too much longer. But in 2021, especially as silver has been sitting in this mid $20 range, it would probably stay there. And if it breaks above $30 an ounce and is staying there, that's the new normal, quote unquote. Then how much faster would things pick up? It kind of reminds me of when silver, broke through the $20 an ounce level, coming up from that March rally. I knew that was going to be a very, very substantial number, because once it breaks through 20, then people start saying, "Oh, it hasn't been this high since July 2016 high of $21," and then the domino effect happens, and it almost hit 30. So if it breaks through 30, then the sky is literally the limit. So, anyways, let's jump into it. Let me know what you think. Put that in the comments. Let me know what you think about the possibility of this, and also, what do you think the markets would be like if it does in 2021? Interesting year ahead of us. Silver price to push above $30 an ounce in 2021 despite short-term turbulence. Metals focus. So, let's see what they have to say. Caught in consolidation pattern, the silver market could remain under pressure in the near term. But one research firm says that the precious metals' long-term fundamentals remain intact. And that is exactly why you got to be careful. Got to be careful. Looking at the day-to-day stuff, the hyper-focused or over-analyzed stuff can get you in trouble, because you kind of miss the bigger picture. In a report published Tuesday, analysts at UK-based research firm Metals Focus said that because of the resilient demand, gold prices should end the year near its August highs. Meanwhile, looking to 2021, the analyst says that they see silver prices pushing well above $30 an ounce, well above. So we see Citibank calling for $100+ an ounce. Goldman Sachs very bullish. So many people are saying this, and they're not just. Well, first and foremost, these are respected investors, right? They're not just these people just throwing numbers out just hoping they stick. No, these people have reasons, and they're extremely accurate. So the comments come as silver prices have dropped through initial support at $24 an ounce, and the December COMEX silver last traded at $23.48 an ounce, down nearly 4.5% on the day. Now, can you see why it's so important to take a step back? Because if you are someone just looking at the prices on a day-to-day basis, the short term is very bearish. So if you were stuck looking at these prices and going over them and hyper focused on them, you would probably end up selling and thinking that this is a terrible idea, and not really thinking past the short term and understanding that the prices are going to catch back up, and there's even more potential than ever. Right now, that's why you need to take this opportunity to buy some silver while it's still relatively cheap, and then hold off until it does rise, and then you can sell if you want. But if you are just, if you're not paying attention to that, if you're just looking at the day-to-day stuff without, without looking at the consequence, or looking, playing the tape all the way through, you can make some very scary and very damaging decisions. So the analyst noted that even during silver's nearly 2-month consolidation period, investment demand has remained robust. The white metal's failure to break through the psychologically important $30 level initially prompted some profit taking in late August. And that's that psychologically important $30 level. That's what I was just talking about, that critical level. Once it breaks through that, the sky's the limit. As we write, however, much of this outflow has already been reversed, leaving global holdings now only a fraction below their August peak. With 2020 to date inflows standing at some 316 million ounces, silver ETPs are on track to record their highest ever annual growth. Although gold prices have hit all-time highs this year, Metals Focus doesn't see that for silver just yet. The analysts said they see a new silver rally coming after the November 3rd U.S. general election. So we have a date now, and there's definitely a reason. Beyond this pandemic, last year, I was talking about 2020 being a very bullish year. And that was because of the presidential election. Even last year, I was talking about this. And this was before I knew that there was going to be a global pandemic, $1 trillion stimulus packages. I didn't know any of that. I don't have a crystal ball to see the future, but I did know about this election. So now, looking at how high the stakes are with everything, with everything going on, plus this election, it's going to get interesting. And talk about potential for precious metals. Talk about that. When there's chaos, controversy, gold and silver are safe haven. They might not be acting too much like it right now, but trust me. When people don't trust governments, when they don't trust banks, they turn towards precious metals, especially now more than ever, because people are starting to understand that the dollar might not have as much value as they once thought. So almost irrespective of the outcome of the U.S. election, fresh large-scale fiscal and monetary stimuli seem inevitable, given an uncertain economic recovery and still high on these pandemic cases. The same may apply to Europe, where record infections and new lockdown measures have also cast doubts about the solidity of the anticipated economy recovery. The case for silver and gold investment will therefore remain strong, and that's a proven fact. We can guarantee that the markets in gold and silver remain strong simply just because of what's happening and what has to happen. This isn't a theory. This isn't some type of educated guess. This is a fact. They are going to give out more stimulus. They have to. And when they do that, it hurts the dollar, which in return makes precious metals stronger. The dollar and precious metals are a direct correlation to each other. Meaning when the dollar index is low, gold and silver is high. When the dollar index is high, gold and silver is low. It's almost a direct correlation. I think they said like negative 0.09% off. So like this is almost like a proven fact. So we know that the dollar is going to be hurting after especially depending who wins, how big the stimulus package is. This is a surefire way that we know, at least in this sense of, or this angle, precious metals will benefit. Not talking about the other 30,000 angles that still offer potential. There's so many reasons why gold and silver have potential, and this is just a small fraction of one of them. Think about that. So, a slower than expected economic recovery and still elevated unemployment rates globally will continue to weigh on the recovery in industrial, jewelry, silverware, and demand. At the same time, the UK research firm said that the growing mine supply could also be a headwind for prices. They expect to see that the continued supply surplus in silver this year and in 2021. And actually for like the next 5 years with the green energy, solar panels, next 5 years, silver demand looks pretty good. Overall, the silver market is therefore expected to remain in a physical surplus. This implicitly means that the investors will be called upon to absorb these excessive supplies. This expectation underpins our base case for forecast for silver, hence our belief that prices will continue to strengthen over the foreseeable future. So I love that. I love that they brought in a couple different different angles, and they had like the proof. These weren't, this wasn't a theory, right? They weren't coming at this, oh, this could potentially, or if this were to happen. No, it's like, this is happening, this is what's about to happen, and this is the consequence from that. And you could take it or leave it, but to just say that to just look at that and not see that as extremely valuable information is just complete ignorance or just stupidity. So never fear, silver bulls. The price rally will resume later this year and continue well into 2021. Talk about some good news, right? Let's see where they're headed with this. Silver prices surged to $29 an ounce in early August, falling just short of the psychologically important $30 an ounce barrier. Everyone's talking about this $30 an ounce barrier. It's a crucial point, and that is exactly what it is. I promise you, once it breaks past that $30 barrier, it's probably going to go into overbought territory, spiking up to about $40, and then it's going to drop back down to low 30s and stay there for a while. That's probably what's going to happen. And this is before easing back to a $24, $25 an ounce holding pattern. That still represents a 36% gain for 2020 so far, with a 25.5% over the same period. The sentiment has remained generally positive, and that's because if investors are positive on gold, optimistic on the macro circumstances that will continue to drive gold prices higher, they are also likely to back silver. And since silver is a much smaller market, it's going to get affected at higher rates, hence why silver is more volatile. Going forwards, almost irrespective of the outcome of the U.S. election, fresh large-scale fiscal and monetary stimuli seem inevitable. So They see, experts see the silver trade well above $30, around $42 an ounce next year. History also tells us that silver has the ability to outperform its precious metal rival once it gets going. And, as silver is restored its ability to outperform its yellow cousin over the summer, there is plenty of room for additional investment inflows. This is the main assumption behind our forecast that silver price will break through the $30 an ounce mark during 2021. So, wow. Both of these articles, I love this, this backlit picture. But both of these articles hit the nail on the head. They both were talking about things from different angles too. I think that people might be overlooking or trying to predict too hard or too far or think too far ahead in a direction that really doesn't matter. And what I mean by that is, yes, forecasts are great. Yes, predictions are great. But markets change so fast. And markets change so fast. And the unknown variable that we have to incorporate is so strong, especially right now, that we can't care too much or focus too much about on the long term. That we have to take that as it comes. I mean, it's great to know that it's important in a different way than people think. It's important to understand if the long term is bearish or bullish, because that will let you know if you should be investing or not, right? If silver is looking like it's going to be a terrible investment for the next 5 years, you probably shouldn't. But it's looking extremely bullish. So now that we know that there's a rhyme and a reason why we should be buying it right now, then we need to take it day by day. Now, that can be a little confusing because we say don't focus on the day-to-day pricing, but I mean by this, your strategy cannot go too far ahead because something could happen to throw the markets way off that we don't know. The unknown variable is one of the strongest points. in a couple months from now, something could happen that we could even fathom right now, and that could send the markets in such a different direction, throwing off our whole strategy. So you can't really base too much of what you think is going to happen on what will happen. You have to be able to adjust, adapt, and keep your strategy flexible. And definitely don't invest blindly like some people do. Some people, they don't know anything that's going on with this stuff. They just buy some silver when they feel like it and hold on to it, or sell it when they feel like it, not paying attention to any of this stuff. And that's investing blindly, and I promise you that is the worst way and and definitely the easiest way to lose money. You gotta know what's happening, and that's why channels, at least like mine, are so important to be subscribed to. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this was a glimpse of some fresh new hope, some fresh air. I definitely have some more stuff for you guys today, so make sure you stay tuned. If you missed the videos I posted yesterday, that was some good stuff. Yesterday's videos, I posted 2 of them, were on point to another degree. If you haven't seen those, I definitely recommend you guys go check those out. And also stay tuned, because I do have some more stuff later today. It's going to be a little different type of a video than this one, but it's definitely still going to be just as good and just as informational. So with that said, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon.